We start the virtual tour by looking over the classroom at all of the student workstations that are currently in existence. As we walk down the front of the classroom, we walk past the large format printer, and this is one of the highest traffic areas in the classroom. And we can notice that the current location of the teacher's desk is somewhat slim and difficult for any traffic to pass through. As we turn and see from a teacher's perspective what the classroom looks like, we can sit down and see that as that happens, much of the teacher's vision is obscured from the classroom. In this position where the teacher sits, there is very little opportunity to see student screens or anything that may be happening within the classroom. It gives the teacher a lack of existence in the room, and as a result, management can become more difficult. As we stand up and move towards the back part of the room and look at what is happening in the video section of the classroom, we can see that there are some issues here with computer workstations that are a little bit out of date and that are in need of updating. These workstations are needing to be switched out to meet current industry standards. Also, we notice back in the corner a relatively accurate model of what a video editing station may look like. This video editing station would be a standard that would be set up for the entire back of this classroom. Further, as we walk through the room, we can see here that the students cannot see the teacher either, that there is a disconnect between the two. And if we sit down and take a look from the student's perspective of the classroom, we can see that it is very difficult to see much of anything that would be going on near the front of the classroom or on the sides. These are some of the remedies that must be made. Also, as we look at the front of the classroom, we see the empty-faced cabinets. These are all full of student materials that are needed on a daily basis. Yet there are no labels to direct the students as to where to go within the classroom to find the tools that they need. These are a few of the issues that have been discovered and researched within the classroom. So the traffic flow areas between the middle podium and the chairs here is somewhat difficult to navigate even in this model. As a result, there needs to be some relocation of existing equipment within the classroom. The file cabinets that are along the wall still provide long enough, wide enough room for the students to travel through. And also the areas between the desks is adequate. The major focuses here are the teacher workstation that leaves the teacher out of connection with the rest of the students. As we enter the classroom through the door that has been rearranged, we see now that the teacher's desk directly faces the classroom door, so that anyone who is to enter the classroom is visibly seen first by the teacher, so that they know who is coming into the environment with their students. We have added to this classroom some posters and designs in the front of the classroom to represent the places which student materials are found. These include posters for cameras and cables, Illustrator and Photoshop books, blank media, and sample projects. Also to the classroom, we've added this last set of iMacs across the back row to make all of the design stations equal and up to industry standard. Also, we've added plants both above the cabinets here and along the wall nearest the students and the teacher on the other side. These plants will clear the oxygen and provide clean air for the brain to work with. In Jensen's book, Brain-Based Learning, he makes it clear that this is critical to the brain's ability to function. With this organization and added pieces to the environment, the students have a center now that is based on brain learning. As we see, the posters have light beiges and bright colors to stimulate creativity and learning based on Jensen's research. Also, in the back of this room, moving now to the layout, We have moved the teacher's desk from its location where it was somewhat cramped and not very much space for the students to walk to a more central location. The printer has been moved back into this corner, and it seems as though perhaps it is cramped according to this model. However, this desk along the back wall is not to scale, and the printer in actual has about 3 feet of clearance between the desk and the wall, so that there is enough room to pull off the large prints that will eventually be placed here on the island, where they can be cut and processed and ready to be hung. These new computers that have been added along this wall and also along the back of the room represent the new video editing computers that house Sony Vegas Pro 9. These editing stations have been chosen as they are equivalent in size and power to some industry computers. However, the cost of these computers is quite minimal in comparison to what the industry may use. This is an effort to try to provide the students with tools that closely resemble what the industry is doing. Last of all, if we look at the room from where the teacher now sits, we can see clearly now, here we have both a PC-based system and a Macintosh-based system. Both will be needed by the professor, as students will be learning graphic design on a Mac platform and video production on a PC platform. In a more fully developed scale of the room, there would be 2 projectors, and each projector would project one of each of the operating systems for the students to learn. From this point of view, the teacher can see almost all of the computer monitors in the classroom and what the students are doing without having to stand up or move throughout the room. This makes the teacher one of the central points of the classroom and creates presence for the teacher. This will help with the management of the students and an overall workflow and effectiveness in the classroom. This has been a model created again by Cody Billups from Lake City High School in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, under the direction of Dan Armstrong. This room has been assembled as a model to help teachers who are beginning to find ways and ideas for how they might make their classrooms look. This is a suggestion based on research throughout a master's program of Full Sail University, and is suggested based on best practices that could be discovered throughout the research. I hope that you have enjoyed the tutorial and that it has helped you to come up with some ideas of how you could better organize your classroom to meet the needs of your students as they prepare for new jobs in the industry and in the workplace.